Yeah, it's a pretty big mouth. Well, Bruce Mundy is going to appreciate this, but its eyes are teeny tiny. This is a different species.
Yeah,
is that right, Chris?
Let me know if I'm coming up too fast.
No, you're good.
Yeah, you're absolutely
let's run along
correct.
the
This is
body
a little
video.
bit of a puzzle. But, I don't get a sense of the size of this, but I'm wondering if this can be a larger Bassozetus. We saw a fish in this genus before. That was more slender and less
get a good size on
acid
that.
than this
There's
one.
one out video
This is a pretty good sized fish from looking at the
Let's get the
lasers on it.
Right.
So I think we saw a cusk eel toward the beginning of the dive that had a tiny eye, but was less.
Let him go.
Was more slender.
Okay.
Now there are some other possibilities for this,
Yep.
so
Going
I'm not
back down?
absolutely confident
Yep,
about
going back down.
my
Really,
identification.
sonar's
This one's
pretty
got some
hard.
fairly
Oh.
large
Get
scales,
closer.
but I know that one of the characters for determining what species of Bassozetus you might be looking at is the size of the scale, whether a large-scale species or small-scale species. So that's my best guess for now, but I think we'll have to look at the images, and the pilot videographer certainly got some good video of that.
Right. Thank you, Bruce.
That was a big fish.
And we will settle back down to the bottom. We're about at the top of the ridge that was our target for today. And we'll now be moving northward along the crest of the ridge.
What's this guy? Quick zoom.
There is something in the water, and it is, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's some sort of a jelly.
What is that?
Or a, I don't know, a glob
any
of
more,
bio-goo. A worm? No, it's not a worm. Ooh, need lights.
Looks like
And he's in our camera.
Oh, it's too far up.
He's
Ooh,
gone.
it
Alright.
scooted.
Right.
Lost it.
Yep.
looked like sea snot.
Pilot, what are you seeing for currents down there? Looks pretty calm.
That's another four-letter
Very
word.
calm. If there's anything, it's coming from behind.
Okay.
Just looking at the tether, but I mean,
I think there's nothing.
I don't think there's anything. All right,
Okay,
push
so
that again.
Chris, looks like there are quite a few of the either the Colophacidae or the Caledoniella in this area. Counting 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that.
We have another. Are we stationary?
Oh,
Do we
yeah.
have-
Yeah, pretty interesting.
So you
And I think this is at a comparable depth as the one that was
We're gonna start
collected
heading
in the
north.
Northwest Hawaiian Islands. We were
That's
on
our
a
next move.
pretty deep seamount, as I recall.
And,
Okay.
let's set up for that. And again, plenty of time.
Yep.
So feel free to explore.
Come on in, video.
Yep. Okay, so this is the same as what we just collected. Great.
Co-pilot, you can start
Nice
working
looking
your
sponge.
heading north, but still keep view. of
Yeah,
it,
keep
too.
them in view.
Yeah.
Roger that.
Very close view.
And the actual
Oh, what's over on the right of it? Is that a
bearing for this is
hydroid
gonna
or?
probably gonna be
No,
about
it,
3
you know, it
Other
might just be,
critter.
Roger,
you know,
copy,
these have
350.
spicules that maybe, in fact, you can really see very closely to some of the spicules that might be protruding from the surface, and it may just be that
It's caught
sediment,
something?
yeah, sediment is being collected on there. But along the
stalk,
stalk,
too.
might be, actually, there might be some hydroids on the stalk and some zoanthids. Our depth right now is 4,221 meters.
Okay, when you're happy, video.
Right, we're full wide.
Yeah, we're trying to get the nav data back up on.
So if it's been restarted, it's going to take at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, it takes about 5 minutes to restart. It might be the same problem that I was having getting kicked out. Yeah, there's a lot of these stalked hexactinella or glass sponges.
And pilot, can we kind of angle over a little bit to the left to look at this sort of step feature that's a little bit lighter. I'm trying to figure out what this mud is that all these rocks are sitting on. And maybe if we can zoom in on this lighter material, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, roger that. He tilts up, Don.
Yep.
Big rock.
I'm looking at my little time zone.
Patty and Shirley, are we
Yeah.
heading up the quotes wall to the
To the
axis
north.
or the top of this ridge, or are we already up there?
We are already up there, and we're heading along
Come on in video.
northward. Oh, I like this. Pilot, if you could especially zoom on the sort of blue-grayish white stuff. Yeah, right in the lasers, right above the lasers.
Yeah, come on in video.
We're zooming in on some of the exposed whitish, light-colored material.
Coming in on it.
The reason I'm interested in this is because it has that light blue color that is just absolutely diagnostic of serpentinite mud on the big serpentine mud volcanoes in the forearc. And I am just fascinated to see that color here. There's no way we can take a core, which is unfortunate, but it certainly is the right color. And the mud flows do contain lots and lots of clasts of rocks that are ripped off the conduit walls of the mud volcanoes. And those clasts consist of ultramafic rocks, sometimes mafic rocks from the top of the crust of the forearc region, but also sometimes pieces of the downgoing plate. So these are the kinds of things that are fascinating about what the mud volcanoes can tell us, because they're essentially a window right down to the subduction zone, 18 kilometers below the sea floor. Okay, pilot, thank you very much.
All right, video, come on out.
For those of you just joining us, we are on
Looks like it's still up.
America's ship for ocean exploration, the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer, and we are exploring the Mariana Trench,
Up to you.
National Marine Monument.
I'll do that. And
For those of you who are joining from home, I know on the East Coast it is really late. It is. It's only 3 o'clock in the afternoon here on the ship. Scott, I know where you're calling from. It's what time is it there? About 10 o'clock at night. And Tara Harmer Luke, 11 o'clock at night. So we really appreciate you sticking in here, hanging in. I know we have a few more people who have joined us recently. Andrea Quattrini, Brian Kennedy. I think you're both on the Eastern time zone as well. So thanks very much.
0728.
good copy. Thanks.
My name is Shirley Pomponi. I'm one of 2 science leads on board the ship. I'm a biologist. I'm a research professor at Harbor Branch Oceanographic Institute, Florida Atlantic University, and director of the NOAA Cooperative Institute for Ocean Exploration Research and Technology. And my partner in crime, who is scribbling down notes really quickly, is
Patty Fryer. I am a marine researcher from the University of Hawaii Institute of Geophysics. I am a professor there, and I mostly do research, but I also teach. And we are looking at a shrimp. What I was scribbling down just a minute ago is that we just passed this wonderful little exposure of layered fine grain material, a whole bunch of different colors, blue, yellow, and brown. Looks like very fine layers of sedimentary material of some sort.
This is beautiful. You can see how the shrimp is just kind of like delicately walking along the bottom.
Yep.
Am I seeing something white and curly above the shrimp, or is that just maybe the freezing video?
You're
I
seeing.
suspect it's the freezing video.
No, well,
No,
you mean
it
on the
looks on the
antenna?
shrimp,
You
yeah.
mean on the antenna? It looks like it's just kind of like real
Maybe it means
fine.
that white
Oh.
pebble beyond the shrimp.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the feathery stuff on the antenna.
No, not yet. It's not on the antenna. It was
It's on the
Coming
seafloor.
out
a little
again,
bit.
tether tugs.
Upper right.
Something attached to
Upper
it.
right.
The
Upper.
antenna.
Oh, I see it. Just to the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, Scott.
Attached to the antenna. Come on in.
That's attached,
It's attached to the antenna.
Scott, what an eye.
Wow.
And
I don't
these
think-
are
wait, what the heck?
individual little curved
heck?
things attached to that poor shrimp's antenna.
Okay.
What are those? Scott, your eyes are amazing. Superman. Supervision.
Yeah, but now the question is, what am I looking at? Oh, they're like little inchworms,
I know. What the heck are they?
which of course they aren't.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
there's
wait,
a red
there's something
one.
on the other one,
There's
too.
a red one
oh,
on
my
the other one.
gosh.
It's red. Part of it.
Can we get...
Like,
Any more things?
has a bunch of antennae. How many antennae does
Well,
this shrimp
there's
have?
something called, I don't know, little camptozoan, a leech. Boy, I'm not sure. They're so small, it's hard to tell.
Can we get in zoom closer, you think?
Macro zoom is what we need. Scott says it's a leech. And then he laughed.
Well, that was one suggestion. There are leeches that are found on shrimp. But there's also something called a camptozoan. It's a little bizarre creature. It's not really well known, sort of related to bryozoan, but I've never seen them oriented like this. So, I don't know.
That's a 4-inch long shrimp. Those two dots are 10 centimeters apart.
Yeah, but look how long the antennae
They are incredibly
oh, my
long.
God. Is it possible to get any... Can we get any closer?
Come on out, video. Come on out, video.
Okay, we're going to try and move up on it and try and get a closer view of those,
They don't have
of whatever it is that's hanging on to the antennae.
Yeah, it looks like we're just starting to move.
So there's a really big camera right in the center of the front of the ROV, and it's
Yep.
just above the sample
Okay. Come
drawer.
on in, video.
So the
Come in
pilot
tight.
will position the ROV so that the videographer then can zoom closer.
The heck?
And it has little bulbs on the end of each one of these
Sure
things. There's
does.
some sort of
Sure
little...
does.
Golly, you know, it almost looks as if it has arms sticking out the end of this thing. These three little things.
Yeah.
How wonderful. How peculiar and perplexing.
And
I
then,
have-
yeah, let's look at that red one, too.
I've heard of ants that have been infected by fungi on shore that climb to the top of a blade of grass, and then the fungus sets out a tube that has the spores in it, and then they just burst open and fly off and infect other ants. I'm sure that's not what
So
it
the
is.
conversation in the chat room is kind of leaning towards leeches. So Andrea Quattrini said that reminds her of the leeches that were parasitizing the copepod on the fish that they saw in the Canyons expedition.
I remember
Okay, so I think the consensus is leech.
Leeches and not fungi.
Oh yeah.
I know.
All right. Fortunately, I have to move on.
Okay. Thank you, pilot.
Thank you.
When I first looked at that, it looked like it was something separate sticking up, like almost like a sea whip.
Yeah,
This is very weird.
Coiled.
Yeah, coiled. Yeah, it
exactly.
didn't. Then it was only when we got in closer and we saw that it was actually attached to the shrimp. Wow. Okay, well that's a new one on me.
Is that the top of
Yeah.
the ridge we're looking at to the left? Looks like it, huh?
Might be.
You should be close to the top.
Yeah, Andrea, I don't know if they were segmented or not. We'll be able to tell. We got some good video.
Watch lead nav.
Go ahead, Nav.
So we have just over an hour left on the bottom. We've started our turn to the north toward that dive-in waypoint, and we are
Quick zoom here.
well on track to make it there. So
Great.
Thank you,
if you
Nav.
want to
That's
change our plan, just let me know.
okay. Thank you. Wonderful. More sponges.
Yep, another little, maybe is this another piloderma? I don't know. Oh, that looks a little bit different, Chris. Yeah, you think so? So, Chris, that other one, was it like a hollow tube, or was it just a very narrow, like a thin cylinder
Like
for the
this?
piloderma?
It was not a hollow tube, as I recall. I took like a tiny little piece of it just to look at the spicules, which I sent Rob photographs of. And I just remember that when I did that, it was sort of solid in the middle. It wasn't hollow. But,
Okay.
frankly, I don't remember that well, so
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay, that's good, because this one does look solid. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Pilot. As soon as video's happy with it, we're good.
All right, coming up.
And video's out.
Oh boy. Pilot, I wonder if you could take a look at some of those white overhanging layers,
Sure thing.
and then at the yellow layers right above them. Oh man, this sure looks like mud flow to me.
Right. Well, you originally suggested this, proposed this site because you thought it was a mud volcano
Oh, man.
site.
That looks exactly like serpentine mud flows. Wow. I just wonder if it just fell completely apart.
Go ahead.
Okay, this, you see layers above are bluish and below are bluish, and right in the middle is sort of yellowish. What we see in serpentine mud is a oxidation reduction reaction boundary between the muds that have absorbed some seawater, incorporated some seawater, and that's where you get the oxidation. But below that, there's often a darker blue or black material that is just packed with archaea. That's great. And Pilot, if you could zoom up just a bit to see the yellow layers. So we see intercalations here of the yellow and the blue. So all of this looks very suggestive of serpentinite mud to me, but just by looking at it, this is exactly the sort of thing that we see when we do a push core into the top of a thin mud flow. It's interesting to see how potentially thin they might be at this place if this was, in the past, a mud volcano made of serpentine.
Come out.
Oh, thank you,
partial.
Pilot. That's great.
And come in on these guys.
Yeah, we'll take a look at these layers. And so if they are mud flows, they're extremely thin. Could we have the lasers on while we do this, Pilot?
The lasers
Oh,
are
they are
on.
on?
We just have to zoom out to get
Okay,
the scale.
that's
Zoom out
great.
Slightly. Video.
Thank you. Okay, be nice if you could zoom in as we just go up just a little bit, just to get a sense for how thick these layers are. It's nice to see if there are rock clasts within the individual layers, which it looks like there are. Is this as close a zoom as we can get?
Any more
starboard
zoom video?
side.
Nope, this is as far in.
Just saw it in the rail cam.
What are you saying, Ned?
A jelly sort of animal just drifted by your starboard rail cam. I don't know if you
Yeah,
wanna
hang
try
on,
to
we'll
chase
grab
it
it
or not.
sometime.
I don't know where it is at this point. Come
Yeah,
on now,
me
video.
neither.
Well, that was really interesting. Thank you, pilot.
Video's out.
Nav, you want to
thank you,
change my
video.
sonar out to
And the reason
80
I was
meters?
interested is because
See if
we've
there's
never been
anything out
able
ahead
to
of us there.
see anything of the indication of how thick these flows can
Yeah.
get. And it looked
Yeah, it
like
looks
there
clear.
was
Want me to leave it here?
a
No,
series
you
of
can-
sediment
you can go
layers
ahead, go back to
between the
50, that's
flows,
fine.
which indicates
Thank
that
you.
thin flows come out, sits there a long time, sediment gets deposited, another thin flow comes out, and this is
Cool.
nobody has ever been able to see this sort of thing before. And the blue exposures we see down this cliff look just like the sort of muds that get burped out of these mud volcanoes.
What's
So I'm
left on the
excited.
move,
I'm
Nav?
very excited.
Ship's done.
I know.
We
Uh,
should be
they're
heading
very
to the
excited.
stops soon.
Okay.
I can't wait till tomorrow.
For the next move, I kind of like this
But
heading.
I'll have to.
We're going mostly along the contour,
Oh,
but still a bit
wow.
uphill.
Come on now,
Great,
video.
great video of this
Okay.
scarp. I love the video of this scarp.
We're still heading towards
Now
the
look
waypoint,
at this.
Yeah, heading
Very
maybe a little bit
cool
west of the waypoint.
intercalating
but,
layers
yes, we're still heading
of the
toward
light-colored material and the brown.
Come in tight.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
That is amazing. As the serpentine will be altered by interaction with seawater to clays, and that's what tends to turn the blue muds to yellow color. And when you do an X-ray diffraction analysis of this, you can distinguish the serpentine minerals, which are platy, from clay minerals, which are also platy, but have a different degree of separation between the layers of plates.
So does that help us understand the mineralogy of those rocks that we were seeing before that had kind of whitish stuff on them?
Possibly, if that whitish stuff turns out to be
Yeah.
serpentine, then
Yeah.
that will help us understand what's going on here. But we know that some of the
Come on now,
flows
get the
can be
lasers.
really thin, but I have never been able to see them in cross-section before. This is fantastic. Woohoo!
Okay, I'm going to move along, watch lead if that's all right.
Yes, thank you, pilot. I'm just thrilled.
As much as we, as
so
much
pilot,
as
for our
we
next
can't
move, we
tear
can
her off.
continue in the same direction if you want.
And look
330, which
how
should
thick it
be
is here.
Mostly along the contour.
So if this
but
is a
little bit
flow,
uphill.
it means that
Wherever-
there
wherever
was
you need us to
a
go to
slightly
get
lower
to,
part of
where we need
the
to go.
terrain that
Oh,
it
there's
filled in.
some flexibility there.
Oh,
so if you think
nice
there
blue
might
stuff
be
down
something
there.
interesting, we can tweak it.
I am thrilled. Pilot, should video pull out? Oh, this is so
go
cool.
I'll repeat the last move. That'll be 30 meters at 330.
Wow. We have picked up pieces of serpentine mud
Bridge
from
RV nav.
the southernmost
Like to repeat
seamount
the
that
last
we
move.
have
That's
drilled
30
in.
meters, bearing 330
With
at decimal 1 knots.
picked it up with Shinkai 6500, and we saw serpentine mud enclosing sediment that had forams in it. So when the muds come up through a sediment layer, they can incorporate the sediment in them and carry those pieces of sediment downslope with the flows. Okay. So if I had my druthers, I'd druther we had picked up a rock up here that might be ultramafic. But that's okay.
Thank you, Bridge.
Can't
And
get
how are we
another
doing
rock.
with the
Yeah.
position hold today? It sounds like
You never
thrusters
know.
might be ramping
We
up
got
a
a
bit.
ways. I see a shrimp in the middle of the screen below the lasers.
Come in tight, video. Just a
Yeah.
snap zoom.
Oh, look, here's another sponge.
Yep, had another.
Same morphology and hanging onto a rock.
Great, thank you. So co-pilot, we should be settling out from the last move, but I just got the next one started. Same direction, 330.
Roger that.
Any
Just
more
keep an
zoom
eye
there?
on this wall off
Any
to
more
my
zoom?
port side there, you know. Make sure it doesn't,
Okay.
doesn't
I'll pay
move in
attention to
too
that.
much more than that.
That's full zoom.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's more of a slope
More of
than
a slope
wall.
bottom return, yeah.
Okay, come on
Nice.
now.
But I will keep an eye on it.
Shirley, what
Video
is an
chairs at this hotel?
annulation?
Okay.
Rings.
And that was
rings.
around the leeches.
Yeah.
Leeches.
Open
How much
mic.
time left on the bottom?
About
45 minutes. So, Scott, we have 45 minutes. Oh, look at the scarp. I love scarps.
For the folks at home, what does scarp mean?
Scarp means a cliff. Actually, it means the cliff face.
Okay.
And it is exposing this light-colored,
Just come in, video.
sort of fine sediment. Ooh, we have a white thing that is a crab. One of these little
Sure is.
holothurian crabs.
A what?
Squat lobster.
Holothurian. What am I trying to say? Galateid, I'm trying to say. Sorry. I get so excited
White
about
squat
biology.
lobster,
Yep.
and it's got the hiney spines. I did say I did. I finally said hiney. Well, Chris has been saying hiney spines all along, so it's like,
Okay,
what the
Scott.
heck kind of term is hiney spines? It's
Sorry, that just
hiney
caught
spines.
me off
I
guard.
know. I know. You should see some of the other stuff that's going on in the chat room.
Come on now.
We think that catches you off
Thank you,
guard.
John.
You know, that one that didn't have the spines but just had bumps, we could call it rump bumps.
Okay.
And I'm
That's
certain
enough.
these are
That's
nice
enough.
scientific terms.
That's enough. Huh. I wonder if we could kind of split the difference, you know, and go a little closer to the edge of the cliff
Fine with
and
that.
look for sponges there.
Oh, I'm fine.
All right.
You call it.
Okay. Pilot, watch me.
Go ahead.
Hi, Pilot. I wonder if we could go a little bit to starboard so that we're closer to the edge of the cliff so that we can still see the animals on top, but also occasionally take a look over the cliff face onto the layers of exposed material in the wall.
Sure, we're moving directly in that direction. We're perfectly lined up
perfect.
to do what you want.
Fantastic.
You knew that.
D2 can go far to the port or starboard, and we're centered on this escarpment.
Oh, that's great.
And pilot, if you do want to drop down there at all, the winds and the currents are such that the ship should move away from it.
Yeah, we're so far up on it that it's
Wow, look at that
really
light.
not an
Doesn't
issue.
matter.
It only
It's a
matters where
really
Sirius is.
nice layer of this light-colored
then it's
material that I'm crossing
How
my
far up do we have
fingers.
to wire before we
Yeah.
clear
Might
it?
be a serpentine flow. And blue layers beneath it. Oh, I'm loving this. But really thick layer of sediment in between.
Come on in, video.
Fantastic. Oh, my goodness gracious. Holding partial.
Co-pilot, I'm seeing that slope or cliff, whatever it is, getting a little closer to you, but I'm not sure if that's just because you're
I
following
think you're right.
around.
I think it is just the slope going up towards that
Yeah, come on in,
direction
video.
over there, not a hard wall.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we're
Still showing pretty good off the bottom.
Yep.
Oh, wow. And I do see, I see rock clasts within the blue material as well as rock clasts being surrounded by it. I have a touch more zoom.
Yeah, this is good. I'm just gonna.
The dark
They're
blue,
stretching.
the dark
Closer.
blue is really suggestive of the serpentine mud. Oh man.
And we're seeing little sticks or tubes hanging down. I don't
Do
know
you?
if those are the
Do
same
you?
as the amphipod tube. I don't see anything on them. I just
Okay.
see little tubes hanging down.
Oh,
or
and you
little
see
sticks hanging
white
down. What are they?
fragments. The white fragments possibly could be chunks of carbonate.
And the black? What's the black in
The
there?
black could be a chunk of rock. Oh
Come on out,
my,
video.
look at this. Oh, fabulous.
Cool.
Oh man, oh man.
Look at that down there.
Yeah, the lower blue is a little bit streaked, I think, by material that has fallen down the scarp, but still, it looks like a
Wow.
fairly thick layer of the blue. Ooh, very thick blue. Oh man. Oh, thank you, pilot. That's just gorgeous. Do you want to go back up and do some more bio searching?
Sure. Yeah, because Scott thinks we're about 45 minutes away from the coral garden.
Okay. Well, pilot, our biologist would like to go back up to the top for a bit and look for a coral garden.
Roger.
Well,
Co-pilot, looks like you're getting
I
a little
said
close there.
I had hoped this would be called North Fork Seamount
Yeah.
and Scarp. And that is exactly
Mud volcano.
It keeps
volcano.
going in and out of
That's
bottom
how-
block
exactly
here,
what
so
we
we're
got.
showing somewhere
Maybe.
between 18
That's
and
what
20
that's what we
Okay.
called this.
meters,
What we
but
need
we
is a
must
little
be riding
scooper
right
to
along
go in
the
and
edge
scoop
of
some
it.
of that
right
blue
off the edge.
stuff
My
Yeah.
out.
only concern is you
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
Next year.
to be hanging off
Or
the
we
edge.
could use the
Be
manip and
wiring
just
down
have it
into the-
closed.
Right.
What
Yeah.
the heck?
Take a little
I think you're fine.
This is stuff that's like
Clorox bottle.
cream
Use that
cheese.
Clorox bottle.
We could do that. Leave it in the bio box for a while, right? Go have them grab it. Innovation for next year. Or some future year.
Let's do a quick zoom here. Sponges.
Yeah. Oh wait, that looks.
Give me a
what's
bit
that?
more.
Another piloderma. Okay, great.
Let's get the one in the back.
Look at them. They're everywhere. I think the garden is going to be a sponge garden.
What's the? Is the one in the back the same?
Well, we
can
can
get
find
closer.
out.
Come on out, video.
We're just about right on our pacing.
Would you be able to take a look at that one in the back, pilot?
What was that?
Would you be able to take a look at the one just behind the one you zoomed on?
Yep. So I'm coming in for.
And there is something in the water. And I see another one way back.
The water thing. Let's go.
Sounds water thing. It's an amphipod.
Yep, scurrying along.
I think it's an amphipod.
Looks like it.
Go the wrong direction.
Does look like it.
Scott agrees. Good. I'm learning.
Come on in.
Hey, I think just before you zoomed in, there was something white and branched.
Really?
Come on in.
Oh, cool. So in
think
front
so, on
of
the
the
lower
first
left.
one,
On the lower left, white and branched. Can you see it
This is-
now?
yeah.
Yeah, you just zoomed past it. That's to zoom back out.
Okay.
see a branch.
When you're full wide, it's in the lower left corner, hard to see.
Okay. Looking. Oh yeah. I think it might be right dead center. Is it dead center?
Come in partial.
Well,
video.
right just below is it? Oh.
There's something right below the lasers.
Yeah, that's.
Right, well,
what
that's
we
a
were looking at
sponge.
before.
Looks to me in the center of the screen now, I think, very low. It's hard for me to make out what it is, and maybe it's nothing.
Right
Come
up.
in tight.
No, it's another one of these
Piloderma
piloderma
sponges. Yeah.
sponges, I think.
Okay, sorry. I thought I saw it had little side branches on it. My
Let's
apologies.
get the one in the back.
You're seeing things. It's a mirage. Okay, wait. What's this one in the back? Yeah, that was one I wanted to look Yeah, same thing. Pilot. That's same thing.
But it's just a little broader.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Are these preliminary at all? So this was
Nah.
different orientation?
They could be. No, they can be. They're cylindrical, but
well.
they can be flattened out, plainer. Yeah. You're muted. Yep, lots of them. Common.
Do a snap zoom, just
Yeah.
Yep, same thing. Pilot
Uh-huh.
Very
Come
cool.
up.
Every once in a while, I'm seeing tiny little white shrimp on the seafloor. I saw one next to one of the sponges.
Yeah, I think you were seeing mysid shrimp, which is also commonly known as a possum shrimp.
Ah,
Earlier in the dive, we had a really nice view of one swimming. We were following it, and it had a little parasite on its back.
oh, that was the one with the parasite. I thought that was kind of a pinkish
just get this white thing.
shrimp toward the front of its body. We have a polychaete. Oh, and you can see the little shiny CT moving around the side of its body when it catches the light.
Similar to one we saw earlier.
Oh, yeah. They're so pretty, though.
Oh, I've
They're
never seen
tiny,
this.
right? They're like 3 centimeters long, something like that.
All right, when you're ready, video.
Roger.
We'll lose them in a second. Yeah. Itty bitty.
Yes. Pretty how they swim, though.
These polychaetes are sometimes called bristleworms, and the whitish things that are reflecting there are the bristles that are coming out of the paddle-like structures on either side of the body, the parapodia. So those are very closely related to the common earthworm, except for those extensions from the side of the body.
Huh. Thank you. More blue
Still
stuff
moving
up
now?
here.
So as those of you, I'm
Ship
sure
stop,
can tell,
Sirius
we've
is
got,
probably
in
still
addition
going.
to Patty and me out here,
keep
as the
checking.
science leads on
Same
the ship,
bearing.
we have
Looks like that'll follow this
many
cliff
more
edge.
scientists who
whatever
are
we need to do.
participating in this
I'll just repeat
expedition
the last
and
move.
contributing to our understanding of
330.
what it is that we're seeing here.
Yeah, we are coming to you live from the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer. We are America's ship for ocean exploration. Coming to you live from the Mariana Trench National Marine Monument.
Bridge ROV nav.
So the expedition is
We'd like to repeat the last ship move. 30
conducted by
meters,
NOAA's
bearing
Office of
330
Ocean
degrees,
Exploration and
decimal 1
Research.
knots.
The ship is operated by NOAA's Office of Marine and Aviation Operations.
Come on in, video.
Other NOAA partners include
Good
NOAA
copy.
National Marine Fisheries Service, NOAA Monuments, Sanctuaries, NOAA
Deep sea coral research,
and
yeah.
Technology Program,
Rough.
and the
Coming out.
NOAA Center for Environmental Information.
Another. Oh,
Also
that's a
partnering
sponge back
with
there.
the Global
Come on in.
Foundation
Yep.
for Ocean Exploration. And our ROV pilots, videographers are from GFO,
That one
the
on
Global
the rock?
Foundation for Ocean Exploration.
Hold on. Let me
And
get
of course, we
closer
have
to
many
that.
other partners
are they
represented
wanting to
by
collect?
the
Well,
folks who are
no, we
participating
grabbed
in,
one from the
In
sediment.
the chat log, yeah.
yeah.
From shore,
Yeah.
It had roots.
either at their home institutions
Thank you,
or
Rich.
expedition control centers located throughout the country and sometimes around the world. So we have a lot of backup out here.
Yep.
Shirley and I are the only scientists or marine geologists who are, I don't know, I shouldn't
Biologists.
say that.
No, we have a lot of.
Biologists and marine
You
geologists.
mean on the ship?
Yeah, on the ship, because
No.
a lot of the folks here have
Have a science
have a
background, have
background
degrees,
in marine
in
science.
marine science,
yeah,
and then have become
mapping experts.
yeah,
Give
but
or
have
take.
become videographers,
Oh,
right.
okay. It's
have
And-
become ROV
Our
pilots.
captain
And engineers.
is an oceanographer,
potentially
a physical oceanographer.
up to the top.
Knows all about the water column and currents and so
About
forth.
Center screen now. It's white and going towards the left now. Stop there.
Yep, come on in.
Just want to see what
Oh,
that
great
is.
white patches. I love
Oh my
white
gosh,
patches.
what do we have here?
We have a crinoid.
See if I can get a little closer. Get some
Yeah.
light
Look at
on
the
it.
Siri grabbing onto that rock.
He's way out there.
It likes rocks too.
All right, come on in.
He's made a perch for himself.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Oh, it is really, really pretty.
So many of these we've
Beautiful.
seen sort of face on, and the arms of the crinoid obscura the Siri, which are the
And here
the
we can
grippers,
see- yeah,
and we
here
can
we
see it in
them
profile.
really beautifully.
Beautiful, beautiful image.
Is that
It's-
full zoom?
That's fully
Clinging onto a rock that has a
Picture.
black
Let me just
manganese oxide
hold
ahead,
coating.
survey
for
one.
a few seconds.
Yeah,
Tilts
have
up
it
So
just-
have it
I
call here.
found
There are
a
about
animal
just
in the
415.
Okeanos animal guide that resembles this thing.
Okay.
And we did see it in the, I see in the Okeanos online animal guide, there's an animal there that looks, a crinoid, that looks just like this.
Wow.
And we sent it to Charles Messing, and all we got was Comatulida long Siri, which are what it's propped up on. So really don't know anything more about this than that.
Okay, I'm gonna zoom in again.
Do we have 2 biologics already?
We do not.
We have one.
We have one biologic.
Hey, come on out, video.
It's kind of interesting just to see if this thing swam, too.
Are you suggesting we poke
Well,
it?
actually, if we
I think
do
he's
wanna
suggesting
grab
we
this,
try
we're gonna
to-
need to move fast. We have
Yeah,
the ship
we have to
moving.
move.
No, we're
here.
not. We're not going to. I don't think that's what we're suggesting.
Okay, fine.
No, I was suggesting if you try to collect it and you don't succeed because he takes off, that's still informative.
Chris wants to poke it.
Do we want to try to get it, or are we just going to
No, I want to collect it.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Well, we need to make a decision about that soon, if that's what we're going to do.
Can you fire up
Yep.
We have one
Yeah, that's,
biosample
fine by
available,
me.
and we have space for it.
Okay,
Where
got
is it?
2 votes for
what,
collect.
What box is open?
Okay.
Yeah, the
Starboard
pilots
bio
are
box,
getting
either
Josh.
settled.
or
Yeah,
outer,
Josh.
but
Looks
port
like
is
we
full.
want to try and collect.
All right, copy. All right, this is going to be challenging.
Just grab the rock. No, they can jump off.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, folks.
It's going to be starboard.
Starboard.
Yeah.
I noticed on that second zoom that, like the earlier crinoid, we
Okay,
saw
we're
the
ready to go with the
pinnules
boxes.
near the oral disc, so close in to where the mouth is, have those swollen white balls. Those are brood chambers, and so the eggs and the sperm develop in there, and then when they're ready for fertilization, they basically pop open and release them into the water column for fertilization.
Oh, cool. So we can actually get someone to take a look at those.
Yeah, they only
And there
develop
was some
on the
discussion
parts
of
of
this
the
thing
arm
trying to
closest
swim
to
away.
the
Hey,
body,
if you
not
wanna
on
open
the
the box.
farther parts of the
Roger
arm,
that.
the distal parts of the arm.
Right.
Not all of these comatulids swim, so this should be pretty interesting to see his reaction.
Not reacting yet. Not at all.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this is one that's going to swim away. I shouldn't speak.
No, you shouldn't. I think
Wow.
it has been obtained.
Wow. Wow.
That was a fine touch there.
Oh no.
Oh,
Come on, land
Wait,
it.
where's he? Oh, wait. He's going to go right in? Is he going to go right in?
Right in.
Close the
Is it?
bottom.
box closing.
That's starboard
did
outer.
Did it
Sometimes,
jump out or fall
sometimes,
out?
Oh, he fell out.
Okay.
sometimes being lucky and being good.
Yes,
Didn't make
or
it,
a
huh?
great
Are
combination.
great
You saw him
combination.
fall out?
No, he's in.
No,
He's
Oh,
in
he's in
there.
the box.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
He fell out
When you
of
said,
hands.
oh,
Was that outer? Was it
Outer.
starboard
Outer,
outer?
yeah,
Yeah.
ended up
Okay.
outer. He was aiming for
Okay.
but
okay. Retracting the
Whatever
pins.
works. I have that marked, pilot.
Okay.
Nice way to plan that, Josh.
Oh yeah.
So I'll
Done
bet
with
the fact
hydraulics?
that he didn't swim will be informative to Charles when he eventually gets to look at this thing.
Okay.
Hydraulics off.
Heart's going about 120 right now.
That's not bad.
Okay, Shirley's still frozen out of the event log, but I do see the
I am?
lat.
No, I'm back in.
Oh, you're back
I'm in. I'm in.
Okay.
I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
in.
The lat long and other metadata are being recorded.
Yep. No, we're good.
Oh, and I see that the pilot is moseying over to the edge of the cliff.
Let's get this.
We're going to
swimmer. Oh,
we're going to look at the
shrimp.
octocoral. No,
We're
just kidding.
looking at
Yeah.
we're looking at that tiny shrimp, but we could be looking at the slope. Here we go,
So
folks.
dramatic.
Oh, boom, boom,
There's a
boom,
little
boom,
crab
boom,
here.
boom, boom. Oh, there is.
Yeah. Come on in, quick video.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this is not a holothurian crab. This is
Come in
not.
Okay.
It's a little squat lobster. Same guy we keep seeing.
Well,
Yeah. Well, that's nice,
that's
she
good.
says. That's good.
All right.
46.
Let's come out.
And more blue layers. Oh, I love, look at that rock hanging out of the wall. Sitting on the top of the blue layer. And another one also sitting on the top of the blue layer. So we had, oh, wow, and underneath.
wow,
are there
look
more
at that.
blue layers
oh, my
down
gosh,
there?
Yeah,
Oh, there are.
Sure are. Wow, look at the image from the Sirius.
Oh, fantastic. It's fascinating that there are intermingled, very thick sediment layers and these lighter bluish layers. Wow, indeed, that's amazing. Look how far down they
Just
go.
drops right off.
Wow, very steep,
I can
steep
see
scarp.
if we
Very
can get
clear
it down.
water.
Okay.
Poke out over it real quick.
Yeah, if that's okay with regard to,
Amazing that
you know,
that
your
far
movement,
down.
that's great.
I might be able to get out far enough.
I
Maybe
can
not.
give you a little more rope there.
That's
Yeah.
okay, whatever you can do. Wow.
Well, I'm looking at my altitude.
Yeah. 10 meters.
9 meters
9 meters.
above the seafloor. 10 and a half.
I don't think I can get
11.
far enough out. Yeah, I can't get far
12
enough
meters. Well, that's okay. We've got at least
Shut.
you are 12 meters
You're maybe
above
10 meters
16,
away
17.
From it, so it's averaging about 60 degrees or so at least.
Okay, we saw
Trying
a
to
maximum of 17.7
Meters.
7 meters above the seafloor. 17.7
Meters.
7 meters above the seafloor.
So this
And this is at
scarp is that.
2.
And watch lead, if you want to do a little trig, he
degrees.
was 10 meters away from the wall at that point.
Thanks. Okay, we can
Yeah.
calculate a slope eventually.
Beautiful view of Deep
Mhm.
Discoverer, too, from the Sirius. Really cool. Very cool. And for our shore-based scientists, we have about a little bit less than 30 minutes left in this dive. And we are going to move directly, as soon as we come off of the bottom and conclude this dive, we will go directly into our dive planning call for tomorrow's dive. So those of you who
Done
can hang
should be
in,
about stopped. Think
that
about
would be great.
Move same direction.
Those of you
Yeah,
right now
that'll
on
get
the
us to the
Central and
end
Eastern
point, right?
time, it's getting
Probably
pretty
two
late.
more moves
Two
to
more?
the end point.
Okay.
Anyway, just wanted to let you know that within a few minutes after we come off of the bottom, close out the general call, we will have our dive planning meeting for tomorrow's
Bridge
dive.
RV nav.
Come on in video.
What are you humming about?
I'm trying to figure out. Oh, I love this. I'm trying to figure out where the source is. You know, where the source of
the mud volcano?
Of all these layers of blue, if they are serpentine mud flows, where the
would
source
they be
may
coming
be.
from?
Well, actually, there is a pretty large, sort of conical-looking feature to the west of
We
this
saw that.
location, to the west
We'll have
of
to
the
look at
scarp.
Yeah, we'll have to look
Well,
at the multi-beam.
We'll look at the
imagery.
multi-beam again, and
Bridge ROV nav.
thin layer of lovely
Like to
gray
repeat the
brown
last move.
stuff, which is
30
probably
meters,
pelagic
bearing
sediment. Oh, I love
330
this.
degrees, decimal 1 knots.
So this time is 3:50:26.
Thank you.
Well, you know what I'm going to be doing tonight, folks?
Ready?
I'm going to be up till about 3 in the morning reviewing this video. I love this. Look at the beautiful layers of sediment.
Pulls in.
Ooh, with little rocks in them. And the sort of creamy green-brown stuff above with lots of rocks in it. The blue layers with lots of rocks in it. That's exactly
What
the way
is
mud
that?
flows
Look at
look
that,
The
like
black
brown.
thing?
No, the brown one that just went over to the left out of the
The brown
screen. Yeah.
rock? I think
Yeah.
it's just a little pebble.
I know. See that? It's up at the top right there now in the middle. Look at that.
It
Looks
has
like it's got holes or pores on. I mean,
I think it's covered with sediment, and I think we're seeing shadows from the light of the
Okay.
little blobs of sediment
okay.
sticking to it.
okay.
But there are some holes in the surface of this rock face or mud face. Wow, the layering is fantastic.
Yeah.
We are coming back out here, I and a colleague of mine and about 160 other people on the Joides Resolution. The
Seriously, that's how
Yep.
many people?
Yep, and
Yeah, come on up
well,
video.
it's a big ship, 400 and some odd feet long, and it has a derrick on top. We're going to be drilling into some of these serpentine mud volcanoes. In fact, we're going to be drilling into 3 of them and putting casings in the holes so that in the future it will be possible to run experiments down these holes, looking at fluid variation through time, putting seismometers down there to take the pulse of subduction, because every time there's an earthquake within the subduction zone, these mud volcanoes, the fluid flow rate varies, and so it seems to be in sync with seismicity that take place in the vicinity of them. So this really helps. Getting a view like this down the scarp really helps us to figure out
Aviation house.
the stratigraphy that we might see in the cores that we'll bring back that can be as deep
Yeah,
as
you're right there.
500 meters or so.
That's
I
what
mean,
it
I
looked like
can't
to
It's
me.
just,
see it.
yeah, they're just
When
little
are you gonna be
mucus
doing that?
balls that
December 8th
may
through
or may not have
February
the animal
10th.
in it.
You're going to be out the whole time?
Yep, 2 months at
Too
sea.
hard to see. I don't want to spend too much time with it.
Yeah.
All the drilling cruises are about that length, almost all of them,
Yeah, those things are hard even against a black background.
unless
Yeah.
they're doing an engineering cruise when they're testing new drilling equipment or something. But, you know, that's the thing that Shirley and I have been mentioning during these dives, is that the kind of work that is done with this vessel is so important for the community of marine scientists, because it provides us with an opportunity to explore things and places.
Right, so you can help narrow down and decide
Yeah.
where you want to take that next Joides
Right.
resolution expedition.
Correct, exactly. The other funding agencies and our peers who review proposals require that all proposals that go to those funding agencies be driven by specific hypotheses that are based on previous knowledge of a given area. And certainly people can do that if there has been data collected somewhere, but if there hasn't been, it's very difficult to convince your fellow marine
big boulder out
scientists that they should
I'm
give
gonna
you
check it out
the
once I have
opportunity
enough
just
leash.
to go
Sure.
and check something out. They call it a fishing expedition, and usually you don't get funded. But with the sort of information that comes back
Quick zoom
from the
video.
NOAA's Okeanos Explorers cruises, this fosters a tremendous expansion
Oh,
of knowledge
That's good.
on the part of the marine science community.
So we're seeing more of those
Also sponges?
Yeah.
Wow.
Demo sponges.
They like it here?
Piloderma. Yeah. Wow. There's a big rock.
There
with
is-
stuff on top of it.
Oh, let's
Oh
take
my
a look.
God.
Oh, there is stuff on top of it.
I think I'm out
It's not
over
very
the
big
edge,
stuff,
so I can
but-
give you a little bit more. You
Is
need.
there a white thing on this side of it that might be of interest?
Come on in video.
Oh, there are a few
Sponge?
white things on top of it.
Sponge, crinoid, little
No,
piece
that's
of white
a cool
rock.
color.
Probably
White
should
rock.
be starting to catch
Okay,
up
so you
now.
want to see the stuff on the top?
Go.
Okay.
Oh, sponges. We got
Jeez,
lots of
But
little
I'm out over
sponges.
the edge of the
Aren't
cliff
they
here
cute?
right now, so we're good. I'll keep an eye on
Finger
that.
sponges. They look like
I
straws.
think these are still some more of the pilodermas.
But look how
Lots
many
of
of
them
them
small.
are
Lots.
there. Mm-hmm.
It is prime real estate.
Good sponge territory.
It is good sponge territory. It's like all the little larvae settled there, and
Mm-hmm. They're going to town. Oh boy,
Okay, come on out video.
this has been just a totally fascinating dive.
Come back in.
I counted about 20. I know, I'm counting them.
holding partial.
12, 13,
Well, they
15,
keep
16,
showing
17,
up.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22,
I know.
23, 24, 25, 26, about 30. At least 30.
Oh, we have a Sacco. I bet a
Revision.
Sacco's counting.
Yes, I know. Revision.
Wow.
Out.
Taking a closer partial.
I counted 32
Good.
from what I can see here.
Good. So,
Even the little short ones, I
yeah,
counted them.
Good. Very cool. That's
But
very
I bet,
cool.
no, 33, 34, 35. Those are around the side. I wonder if the current is coming from the northwest here. And they're on that northwest side of that rock.
You can take some zoom on.
Yeah, coming on that
So
one
the
right there.
vehicle is facing 270
That's
degrees. Its heading is 270. So they're on the other side, so the west side.
Right, I'm going to come down. Come on
Yep.
out.
Sounds good.
So we have, what, about 15
minutes.
minutes or so? We could sort of swing around the other side of this rock. Count them all.
Ship is just about done with this move. I'm not sure if I should bother to call in another by the time we're going to have to come off the bottom. Guess it'll keep us moving anyways.
What do we have? Another 10 minutes of swing?
15.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 minutes of swing, 15 more minutes on the bottom. Yes.
Okay.